Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to go through how I rendered and comped Hades and basically all other projects that I would do rendering from ZBrush. So basically we're going to render from ZBrush to Photoshop, going to use a bunch of comping layers, and we're going to do a little bit of like painting manually in Photoshop to get our final result. Stick around and we'll go through this together. So basically, if you're at a phase in your project where you have it like all textured, even if you don't have it textured, if you just like want a good like render and just got comp it in Photoshop, that's all good. I'll show you how to do that. So Hades right now at this point, I have him textured fully. I have as much detail in there as I possibly can, all the way down to like little skin pores and stuff like that. One thing ZBrush doesn't do properly is it doesn't do like eyes properly, like the outer like refractive shell of the eyes. So we just end up doing that in Photoshop, which is fine. Yeah, basically just have as much detail in there as I can. And I am going to basically start off by assigning things materials. So Hades' skin. So you assign things materials like this. First off, when you assign something a material, you cannot have a texture map be on there. So right now, you have to assign the eyes material. I'm actually going to keep the texture map on. Or actually, I won't. I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to go like this. Poly paint from texture. When I do that, the texture is no longer on. Now I can actually fill this object with a different shader. So I can go here. I can go find a different shader. So maybe like, I don't know, toy plastics usually. Let's try silver. Okay, let's just use silver for these ones. Material, I always go up to here and I'm always going to adjust things. So diffuse, take it up to the top. And remember, I'm just adjusting the eyes right now and I'm going to fill the eyes with that certain color. So diffuse, specular, yeah, let's make them like fairly specular. I mean, we're going to do a lot of this painting in Photoshop anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's just leave it like that. And now we go up to M, just clicking M, and we go to fill color. I have my own shelf here, but the fill color is in, where is it again? It is color, fill color. Now it's going to make my eyes that certain color. And you know, again, if you're doing this and you're like, oh, my eyes, it's not turning that to that shader. That's because you have a texture on. So if I switch it to another object, that same shader still stayed on the eyes. Now we can switch. So I'm going to go basic material for this one. The basic material is my startup material. So I just go here, basic material. So I'm going to do the skin shader now. Diffuse, I always take the diffuse up to the top. Ambient, maybe down a little bit on this one. Specular, let's crank that up a little tiny bit. I just want some good like specular highlights on there. Nothing too crazy. You don't want to do this. I know it looks cool, but it won't. Don't do that. Maybe something like that. It's still pretty specky. Yeah, let's go a little bit less actually. That's good. I mean, maybe a little bit less. Let's go 14. Kind of where it was before. Everything else is basically fine. We can adjust the diffuse curve a little bit. Sometimes I like to do that. Let's just see what that looks like. I've also picked some angles that I like. I think I like this angle. I like that. So yeah, let's also, so I have these in there. Let's do the teeth. So teeth, I'm just going alt click basically to switch my subtools. So alt click, I'm gonna go toy plastic on these ones. So make them nice and shiny. Oops, I did not remember to apply that. So if you gotta go here and yeah, I don't have a texture map, which is good. Colorize is on. Oh, I do have a texture map. See that? So I have to go on my highest subdiv level, make sure you're on there. Poly paint from texture. All right, there we go. And now I can go fill object. All right, and then now to the teeth. Let's assign those a toy plastic. So here, and the teeth. If we go fill object, there we go. Now it's full. Let's get both of the rows of teeth in there. Fill object. And let's adjust these guys. So material, ambient, let's take that down a little bit more. Diffuse up, ambient down. I like to do that. It's like kind of more true to how things actually look. Let's bring this curve a little bit out. I want to make that curve kind of drop off a little bit more. This is all just like trial and error. Like you're gonna want to make it look however you want it. I mean, also your lights are gonna be affecting you too, so something like that's good. I'm gonna obviously take down the specularity a little bit. We could just actually dock this guy over here. It's probably gonna make it easier for us. Specularity, yeah, 100 probably too high. Just like that. Little hints of it is good. You know, I don't want them to be like shining, crazy teeth. Maybe a little bit less. That seems good. All right. Same thing with the gums. Maybe just try to like put that same shader on there. Let's just see what it looks like. You know what? It's actually not bad. I'm going to keep that same shader. They're both wet. And now we can also do what I really like to do. It's called wax. And now we turn it on and it's going to say, oh, you can't do that because wax preview isn't enabled. So got to go over here, render, render properties, wax preview, turn it on. See what that, it gives it like some sort of SSS feel. It actually kind of like, yeah, it really makes things come to life. We probably will want to put that on a little bit onto Hades as well. So change that material back, and we're going to turn wax preview on. See, it's turning on with Hades a little bit, but we don't want that strong. We just want it really, really subtle. It starts killing some of our detail. It's basically making your shadows a little bit slightly tinted red to mimic subsurface scattering. I kind of like, I don't know, you can do subsurface scattering in ZBrush. I've seen people do it. It never works for me the right way. I mean, I think you can get the pass out of it, like the render pass is better, I find, than just do it in Photoshop. Okay, I'm liking the looks of this. It's like fairly simple, you know. You don't need anything too crazy. You know, we want kind of like a nice basic, like plain looking render, more or less. And then we're going to start copying in Photoshop. So I kind of like this angle. Also, once we have all this stuff on there and when we're ready to render, we're going to make the document size a lot bigger. So it'll be like 3,000, and we'll hit render. It'll take a little bit of time, but then we'll actually have a nice, decent, like, you know, like high-res render. All right, so let's start putting some lights in here. So let's hide that. Double-click this guy to make it pop over. And so this light here. Making him toplet's pretty cool because he has like hair, like his hair's on fire, so I think that kind of makes sense a little bit. I want to give him a rim light, so crank that up. Just see what a render looks like. It'll take a little second here. Okay, that's looking better. I kind of like this angle. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to change the document size to that looks really bright now. Oh, I know why. That rim light is shining on him. There we go. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, render's done, and it looks great. Yeah, everything looks awesome. Okay, wonderful. Let's go back. Let's export all of our stuff first. All right, let's do those render passes again. So we can actually turn off SSS, wax preview, occlusion. Those are the things that make it take a really long time. And we're going to go through and let's just yank these down to 0, 0, full. Sure, let's do one render like this. Okay, but we'll be happy we rendered at a 5K. You can never, up-res anything. And sometimes I'm kicking myself like, ah, man, why didn't I just render this a little bit more high-res and just take an extra, 20 minutes rendering it. It's fine. All right, that one's done. So I'll call that one spec. It's really, really good. Okay, now let's adjust that light. So go with this one first. Let's move that to the top of the head again for our fire. I think that's it right there. Yeah, right in the top I think is better. And we're gonna just basically just use this pass for the fire. And we'll paint out other areas like down here, right? We don't want that to be fully illuminated, so. And then we'll do one rim light and then a rim light for the other side, and I think we'll be good. Probably gonna have big blue flames behind him, I think. Would be kind of cool. And smoke. All right. Let's call that one reflection fire. And then another one. Let's go for that nice general rim light. There we go. Save that out. to the side. Yeah, that's probably like a nice harsh one right from the side is pretty cool. That'll work good. It's just good to give them some volume and some more details. You know, it really sets the stage. You can also make these lights colored. I like to color them after the fact, so I have more control. Keeping them white is a good idea. You can easily in ZBrush change the colors, but I think keeping them white is good. You can just fill it with another color, or overlay it onto another color, and then all of a sudden you have like a colored light in Photoshop that you have infinite control over, rather than like, you know, having it colored here and then you're like, oh, I don't like that color, or the background that you have it in doesn't fit with that color. So more control the better. It's like, yeah, open as many doors as you can while you're doing this stuff. And that's probably the last one we'll do, I think. Okay, cool. Let's leave ZBrush open while I open up Photoshop. So obviously some of these aren't good. It's like this one over here. Kill that guy. And then everything else is good. Okay, so the composite, no, I want the render. It's the same exact thing. Yeah, it's identical. I don't know why they call them different things. Anyways, let's get the black one. I don't want the gray one. Let's go for the black one. Okay, so just in case, let's grab this guy. So I'm going Control A, Control C, Control V. I like to just bring it into a different layer, windows like this, so I can see what I'm doing a little bit easier. Control A, Control C, Control V. Alright, we got all the layers in here now. Let's start from the bottom. So I'll show you how I use these layers. So I am a person that likes to approach everything very, very artistically, not artistically, fluke oriented. I just basically trial and error things. So sometimes if your colors aren't vibrant enough, you can just overlay things. My gums are looking crazy, but we can fix that. Kind of just helps it pop a little bit, right? Without it. I think with it is looking cooler. Like, remember, this guy is a cartoon, but this is a slightly more realistic thing. I'm not trying to make this guy look real. I'm trying to make him look like stylized cartoony. Depth pass, we'll use that later. This guy we go on to multiply, but we levels it up. So the lightest of the lights is white. We can probably take the opacity down a little bit. So without it, with it, without it, with it. Adding a little bit more shadows in there, a little bit more life to it. This is the ambient occlusion, which are just bullshit out of ZBrush, but whatever, we'll use it. I like to levels that a little bit more, and let's go multiply again. Doesn't really do anything. We're not going to use it. Unless overlay, No, we're not using it. Like, I don't know. It's never really working. Mask, we need that for later. Subsurface scattering layer. Okay, so right away, let's kind of crank these values. I just want to have the tips of his ears, basically. Right, that's good. We find a color that's going to be suitable for subsurface scattering. So it's going to be, no, I'm colorblind a little bit, so it's kind of hard for me, but I think it's like this. Based on my memory, it's kind of like this, like that. I don't know, like that, like this. I don't fucking know, like that. That seems wrong. Why don't I just do what I always do? And look up subsurface scattering and grab a dang image of it and copy and paste it. How about we just do that? It's probably a little bit easier. I think it's like more red then, hey? I don't know. Let's see. Whoa, really? What do I get like here? Okay, I mean, if that's what it says, I should probably mix this slightly with his abnormal skin color. So let's grab our paintbrush. Let's select general skin tone, like here, and let's paint it on slightly. I like to just do this. Okay, now we have something that's looking maybe a little better. Let's call it. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to overlay this. Or soft light. Soft light or overlay, both work. Okay, now we're going to merge them. Now we do screen. Yeah, I think it's screen, but it doesn't really work that well. That's okay, we're just going to use it for the ears just a little tiny bit, like the smallest amount. And we can crank it to be even less. Don't worry about the top of the head, we're going to delete that out. Shoulder doesn't have subsurface scattering on it, neither does this part here, so just delete that out of there. Alright, that's okay. I mean, it's this tiniest thing, and we could probably paint more in if we need to later. I mean, it's a pretty basic map as it gives you on a ZBrush. What we can do right now, actually, is we can grab this guy here. I'm going to go to color range. I'm going to select this, the black here, fuzziness, let's go right in the middle. And I'm going to inverse that. I'm going to grab, so I'm going to duplicate this layer here. Going to grab all these and make a layer. Make a group. In that group, with my selection, I'm going to hit this. So that makes a mask based on what I had selected, which is freaking awesome. Now we can really see how much of our subsurface scattering is coming through here. And we can see that we do have a little bit coming through on the side of the head, which is okay. Boy, let's take out a little bit more though. I think we're still seeing a little bit too much of it. Probably something like that is okay. The ear, I mean, it's just not perfect, and that's okay. You know, it's not going to be perfect. We're going to just see this very barely. Without it, with it, without it, with it. Yeah. All right. Alright, so this one next. I kind of like, okay, we should just like see what they do right now, but I kind of don't want to put them on yet because I want to see what we need for the backgrounds and stuff. This one maybe on a low intensity screen. So I'm going to duplicate all these actually. I'm going to put them up here and I'm going to just have them all hid. So this one I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to delete out a lot of the parts here. So I'm going to delete anything that isn't just right on the side of his face. ZBrush like doesn't wrap the light properly. It's really, really strange. Let's get rid of all this stuff. All this, all this, all this. Makes it look really cheesy. So again, I just want to think about that light hitting him from the side of the face. You know, it's not obviously going to like affect the insides of his eye and the insides of his ear and the inside of his mouth. Like, lights don't work like that. I don't know why ZBrush does it. I mean, it's all fake. Like ZBrush is like a kind of like a fake program, as much as that sounds weird. It's like not actually 3D from what I've heard. So the same with this one. So delete all this side out of there. Alright, looking good. This one is just the top of the head, remember? This one's for the fire. So, to save time, have already made the fire. I mean, you've already probably seen my Hades thing, which is probably why you clicked on this thing. But I have a version of him painted, version 3, I think. And I have this fire, and I'm going to just take this fire. This fire is, I'll show you how I made it, but I'm just going to take this because I want it to be consistent with my other ones. I can't open it. What? Wow. Alright, so I grabbed the hair from the other Hades. My Photoshop files weren't working, so I just like really crudely cut it out. Basically what I did is I just typed in Fire Alpha, right? Something like this. I mean, that one there is actually kind of cool. Why isn't it not showing me? And what you can do is you can go tools and size and large, and then you can kind of grab some cool stuff. It's a pretty big one. Right, you can start grabbing some interesting things. All you do is just color this the right way. And I might even add some more of these in there. So keeping them on standby is pretty good too. Fire Alpha. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, it's too small. It's hard to find them big enough. And I wanted his hair to be like really wispy kind of flames. Da, da, da. Yeah, for this stuff, if you pick like Fire Alpha or like Dust Alpha, you'll get some good results for like a black background. Good to do. Okay, anyways, that's how you would do it. And what you would do basically is you would color that the right way. So be like, okay, I want this to be let's just go here for now. I know it's not blue, but or green. So I'm just gonna go here and make it green. And more blue. And again, green, cyan, blue. Yeah. What you do then is you just go here and go screen. That's on a screen layer, right? You can put that. You can populate the whole head like that, and warp it into place. You know, make it fit his face properly. Anyways, that's what I would do, and that's how I made this one too. But I just took a little bit more time on this guy, and I did a lot of manual painting too. So let's go here. So let's make the document a little bit bigger. So like that probably. We might not have his whole hair in the frame, and that's okay. It might need to be cut off a little bit. Although it is kind of cool to have it. It does look sweet. It is like almost the focal point of the frickin' thing. Yeah, let's make it a little bit higher. I mean, why not, right? Why not have it a little bit higher? He's still in a third there, actually, so barely third. Yeah, pretty much in a third. Okay, that's cool. So what we're gonna do? So we have these guys. This one is the fire layer. So what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna grab a color, the blue here. With this guy selected, I'm gonna go over top of it. I'm gonna fill color. I'm going to overlay. So now we have a nice green tint to this stuff. I'm also going to paint white in when it's closer. So like this. See what I'm doing? So it's like kind of hotter right near the base. Okay. Merge those together. And then go screen. I'm going to crunch it down, so I'm going to make those. So without it, with it, with it. So we just want the top of the head and select spots. So I'm going to use this on a mask again. So mask, we're going to be hiding by painting black. We want these forehead wrinkles, I think. But just slightly. Want some of these guys, but again, just slightly. Nothing down here. It's too far away from the fire. You know, even here, I don't think we'd be getting any of it. Let's kill it when it gets there, basically. Yeah, it makes it look way more menacing without it there. We're kind of just painting out areas that we think it would be, and areas that we think it wouldn't be. Like inside of the nose, I don't know why ZBrush imagines it would be inside the nose there. Just very slightly on his lip there, maybe on the lower jaw, slight bit. We're gonna get rid of all this stuff down here, all of it. So we're looking like we're getting there. Let's fix this hair a little bit. I couldn't really see where it was before. Just warp this into place. Okay, that looks cool. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some manual painting. So let's go here, make a new layer. Underneath the group, we start painting in some really, really hot colors to blend in this intensity. So I started with like the greeny blue color first, and then I faded it with white so it fades out into that blue color here, right? So lighter towards the base, and then blue. Now we go to overlay, maybe soft light. So the forehead looks good, but the other shit does not look good. So I'm going to delete that out slightly. I like how high res this is. You can just really zoom in. That's great. Yeah, very, very good. I need to delete out this thing here. It's bugging me. Now, do we like it without that? Psh. It's important to keep these in layers, right? Look at that. Without it, it's kind of looking better. Right? Look at that. Wow, okay, so I have an idea. I'm going to go on a mask again, painting black. Just using it very subtly, I think, is the key here. Honestly, with most things, subtlety is the key. There, just look at that. A little sharp rim light is probably a lot better. Look at that. Way nicer. It's the power of having those awesome render passes, you know? And what about this guy here? That's this one? Yeah, that one's looking good. Or does it? Let's look at it again. Always good to keep an open mind, right? Question your work constantly. With? Tough to say. I think definitely lighter. Let's also make it slightly blue. Oh, I know what happened there. It's because I've deleted out some of the stuff. I gotta fill it with black underneath. So black. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna merge all these together. Alright, and let's go screen again. That's much better, I think. Yeah, a lot better. To have that blue tinted color. Oh yeah, look at that. Way better. And do we like the shoulder? I think I do, but I'm gonna delete it out of this pocket here. Now this one, interesting again. So we paint black to get rid of stuff. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Alright, we're going to paint some eyes now. And we're basically just going to paint them. Trick I like to do is right away, I'm just going to go like this. And just draw on some random fiery looking stuff. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that with this color slightly, just slightly. Now it looks like there's like some sort of reflections in his eyes, but we're going to also take that way down, way down. We just want that trick of there being a lens. We want to fool people into thinking there's a lens over his eyes, which there is not. We are painting it. Okay, then just basically grabbing white now. We can paint on. Just painting on some reflections here. I don't like this little black tick here, so I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Let's give him a little bit of a shadow underneath, like on this side here. So new layer. Just like to keep my shadows and my reflections separate. Yeah, this really helps set his eye down into that eyelid a little bit more. Same with this guy here. That's looking cool. Eyes are looking decent. You know, nothing crazy. It's like, it's not amazing, but it does work a little bit. Gonna go one more pass with these highlights. Let's try them again. That does help a little bit, actually. You know, without it, with it, yeah, it helps us with those little bits of reflections there. It's actually kind of nice. All right, I think we're looking pretty cool here. Teeth are looking okay. I mean, not amazing, but whatever. I could probably help them out a little bit by like painting in some of my signature stuff. I always put drool in my characters. And I just paint that all in. Just Just painting on some specular highlights here. Maybe some on the lips too. See how nice those lips turned out though? Like pretty good result for a ZBrush render. I mean, again, it's not really realistic, but it's nice looking at least. All right, this looks cool. It looks gross. I like him when it looks gross. It's nice, you know? You want your characters to either look scary or gross or like cool. And I kind of like this guy to look a little bit gross. I don't know. I just feel like the weird mouth and everything is like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Make your characters look whatever way you want it to look. I don't know. I like to put a little glint in the eye too, like where the tears go. There we go. Maybe this part here is a little bit too distracting here. Let's just get rid of it slightly. I feel like that's a little bit better. Yeah, just subtle. Subtlety's key with this stuff. All right. I think we're looking close. Background, maybe just making the background really basic. All right, background. Let's try to find some interesting images. It's pretty cool. Hard to find something high resolution enough. Although I do have a really good website, and I'll show you guys. It is called pxhere.com. Got great backgrounds. Fire. Ooh, might not have stuff for fire. Doesn't really look like it. Nothing too good. Google might be better for this, but if you're looking for other backgrounds, this is a great place to get it. here's what I did the other one, which is pretty basic. But you know what? I'm gonna make his eyes glowing. I do like that. Okay, so let's do the glowing eyes. What we're gonna do is we're going to grab this. We're gonna grab this. And I'm gonna make a new layer. I'm gonna gauge them and blur them a little bit, just a little bit. Make them a little bit brighter. Looks about right. Overlay. Tone it down a little bit. I want it to be really contrasty to the fire. I want them to stand out quite a lot. So there we go. That's one. Duplicate that layer. I'm going to gauge and blur it even more. So gauge and blur. And we're not on overlay this time. Oh, we went too much with the gauge and blur. Okay, that's somewhat better. We're getting that glowing eye look. Gonna erase it out of some areas. Right in the middle of the pupil, I want those to be dark. Alright, so now we have, yeah, they're definitely the focal point now. Let's go one step further. Let's paint on reflections on parts of his face. So let's grab that gold color and let's paint on a little bit of a reflection on the brow here, and it would dissipate around there. And bottom of the eyelid. Same with this one. So bottom of the brow. Fade it out nice. Let's go really, really bright with the end part of it. So right here, really, really bright. All right, now we're gonna go overlay. We just want it to be subtle, right? So now we just have those little glows, right? It's just glowing on the parts of his eye. We're gonna duplicate that layer. Try it again. Yeah, now we're getting there. Yeah, exactly. So we see that reflection of the eye on the top of the brow lid, right? Or of the brow, which you would. I mean, if his eyes are glowing, you know, if that's what we're talking about. You know, I think actually this one is really good, and this other one needs a little bit more work. So. Might hit around here too. I mean, that's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I think we're definitely getting it. It definitely looks like they're glowing from the eyes. Yeah, I think it's looking cool. All right. It's interesting what you can get right from ZBrush, eh? Like, this is a completely ZBrush made render, but it actually looks pretty good. I mean, he's definitely very specky and glossy, but like, whatever, it's just stylistic, so it's fine for what we're doing. Background. I do like this color. I think I got the color pretty good on this, so let me just color sample that. Let's get rid of this fire. I think we can find better fire. Not what I want to do. Just trying to plan the background out. I usually just do that by just like kind of mapping out some colors. I think just nice basic flames in the background is cool. Maybe I'll have some flames flickering in the front of him too. That could be kind of cool. Yeah, let's do that. So flames high res. Just trying to find some good old flames. Blue, ooh. So we got some cool blue flames here. Oh, it's really small though. Can you search by image? Sometimes that really works. Tools. Visually similar. Large. Come on. Might get lucky. A lot of them are watermarked, which does make sense. Oh, those are perfect. Let's just see how these look. I mean, these flames are pretty nice. Let's keep searching. We'll find better stuff. I mean, honestly, these are pretty good, and they're free. You can scale them whatever way you want. I actually kind of like these, actually. They're quite nice. I think I actually used these for, I totally did use them. I can see aspects of these that I used in the hair. That's so funny. I just found the same image twice. I mean, it's pretty simple to find. It's like one of the first ones that comes up. So let's make the flames going the opposite way. So they're like blowing to the side. Alright, this is looking kind of cool. Put them on a low opacity. Like in some places though, because some places I would like them to be more visible. Let's see if I can fool around with them a little bit. And these flames here, his head, we got to make these on screen as well. Oh, that did the trick. Oh, I was so happy about that. I was worried that it wouldn't work. And I'm going to put them also on normal, because I do want the base to look how it is on the head there. See that? So I'm just erasing out the base of it, but I'm keeping the base of the head like all like that. Yeah, perfect. And a blend of the two. I'm going to make those into a layer or into a folder called fire. Alright, the fire in the background. Let's work this out a little bit more. Let's try moving it around. Sometimes simple is better, honestly. Let's just try to rotate it. I've just decided I'm going to make layers of fire, so I'm going to have some in the background. So these ones are more in the foreground, then we have layers of them in the back, disappearing all the way into darkness. So if I just go paste again, I think that I still have that. Yeah, I do. Let's put this one underneath. Let's flip it so no one notices that I'm using the same thing over and over again. So how do I do this? Yeah, I go like this. Okay, this is going to be tricky. So I want to put in the background, but I have these ones here. So there we go. Merge this to black. Okay, or is this right? Screen. Okay. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So I can select my color range. I'm gonna go here, delete. Okay, kind of worked. Kind of want to put shoulder flames on him. Or maybe just flames right behind him. That's kind of cool. It's kind of simple. Let's grab these two and let's pull them to the front. Yeah. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna erase parts of this. What we can do is we can grab this alpha here and then erase within it. Easy way to push things to the back. Okay, now since we put some fire on his shoulders there, probably gonna have to go through and use that alpha here. Ooh, you know what? We have a really good one already. Let's find it. We have a really good spec. And not this one. It was right down low. That one perhaps? Fire. We can make a new one. So what I want to do, I want to get this to be right on the top of the shoulder. Gonna be kind of hard. Oh, that's kind of close. I like that, but I think we do have that, don't we? Let's just see. Yeah, we basically have it already. Okay, so let's just go back to our render. Oh, I already duplicated all these up to the top anyways, so whatever. We have them here now. All right, so let's go screen. You know what? Some of this stuff is very, very good. I'm just kind of realizing that now. So that stuff here is good. The eye's a little bit intense, but it can help us with the glow a little bit. Teeth, get rid of all that stuff. That's all gonna be. So a little tiny bit keep on the eye. Little tiny bit. Let's grab our alpha now, and let's paint on a new layer. Up near the top. I'm grabbing this color here, and let's try to fill in this stuff with maybe a lighter version of that. Yeah, like that. To give it that color that it needs, right? It needs that like bluish color. There we go, I think that did it. Yeah, with, without it, huge difference. I think, yeah, let's try one more thing here. Let's grab our layer, our main diffuse layer. Let's do another overlay onto itself. Right, just helps us like crush those colors a little bit more. So without it, with it, yeah, much nicer. Let's make it a little bit lighter. See what happens. With it, without it, yeah, it's just way more punchy. That's cool. Let's add some foreground flames. Oops, wrong one here. Let me grab the flames here. I think that's our only option, really. Thank you for whoever put this on the internet. Save my day. Copy. I want to put some in the foreground, and I'm just gonna try it out, but we'll see if it works or not. So here. That kind of helps immerse them a little bit into those flames a little bit more. I'll just get a little peek of them like that. Probably is kind of cool. Let's get rid of these outside edges. Let's put one more in there. I'll do this side. Yeah, sure. Let's just get rid of it to there. I mean, we don't even need to have this one have to be in front. What are the other flames doing? Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it kind of helps balance it a little bit more. Gonna warp this a little bit. I don't like that one. It's like so straight. Let's go like this. Just try to get a little like a corner of this in there. Now, is it better without those? Sometimes you get carried away. I think it's better with them. It's just so hard for me to tell. At some points, it's like, do I like this or do I hate this? I don't know, actually. Let's just frickin' go for it. Off, on. Okay, that's probably it on a low opacity. Okay, mix it both. Done. Okay, let's put some sparks in there. So let's go. Sparks Alpha. That's a good one. I'm gonna fill this whole thing with it, basically. Good way to do that is do it in stages. Just so you don't notice the repeating. I mean, we're gonna be motion blurring this anyways, so we won't notice the repeating too much anyways. But yeah, just good to not just like duplicate it around. Randomize it a fair bit. We still have to use the depth pass too, which is really cool. So let's maybe use that right now. So I'm gonna take away the saturation of that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna color sample this guy, go back here, fill it, overlay, you know the drill. It's a lot of sparks, probably too many. I probably won't use this. Less is more in a lot of cases. Let's just see what it looks like. If I put it in the background. No, I hate it. Okay, what we're gonna do, just gonna use the depth pass. It is cool for doing stuff like immersing him in smoke. So we have this cool depth pass. Let's clamp it. Yeah, that's cool. I want him to feel like he's in smoke, right? So I'm then going to, just because I've extended this, I'm going to fill the top with black. All good. I'm going to then paint some smoke. I do that with my smoke brushes, so clouds, puffy clouds. Let's adjust all this crap. Like that one the best. Color dynamics, we don't want it to be so crazy. Probably paint clouds like this. These colors are great. Let's get some clouds, maybe helping that focal point out a little bit. So lighter where he is, darker where he's not, since he is like on fire and everything. Okay, so we just have some simple clouds. What we're gonna do, this is a really cool trick. You guys are gonna be like, whoa. Okay, merge that down. Let's go color range and let's grab this white. Okay, that's what I'm gonna pick. I'm then going to delete. What we get is we have him peeking through these clouds. However, we don't want these clouds this thick, obviously. I'm going to go here again. Color range. Same thing again, delete. There, he's like kind of immersing himself through the clouds even more now. We have to also grab the fire and delete that. Mainly, let's delete it manually. So let's erase it out. So definitely up here. And I feel like fire breaks through clouds. So let's take this on a lower opacity. So without it, with it, without it, with it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Like I mean, it does still help a lot though. Like it's still just like getting our focal point out more. I think the flames are breaking us apart, you know, like it's breaking the gimmick of it. I think we're good. I think I'm just gonna put the sparks in and then we're gonna call it a day. So I'm gonna look for more sparks, and if not, I'll just paint them manually. We'll say that they are kind of annoying to paint manually though. So I'm just going to erase some of these guys where the fire is not, and where his face is. I don't want them in front of his face for now. I'll put some in front of his face a little bit later. We're just wanting a little bit of sparks like in decent areas where they kind of stand out. So I like that one. I don't want that so close to the top. Yeah, that's probably better there. Okay. Just taking a once over and like looking it all over. I think it's looking good. Just painting in some sparks manually now. And I'm going to take the smudge brush and give them a little bit of like motion blur, you know? Alright, it's looking good. I think I might call it right away. Something's going on with his hair. Oh, I see. He's got this one flame in front of his face, and I don't like it that much. Let's try to get rid of it a little bit. Yeah, this one. So let's try to just slightly remove it. That's good. It goes in front of his ear, and I kind of like that. It gives some depth to it. I think it's looking good. All right, so basically that's it for the little mini tutorial. Yeah, it's just how to like comp and kind of paint in Photoshop, and it's commonly used by concept artists. I think Photoshop was, or sorry, ZBrush was initially designed as a as like a concepting piece, or concepting a program for like putting layers in and like getting quick renders done and stuff like that. And it's cool to see what you can do. I mean, you wouldn't really say that this is a ZBrush render. I mean, maybe you would, maybe I would actually. You can see some of the weird things, but it still looks cool, and it gets your idea across. And you know, a lot of really you know, talented and well-known artists actually use ZBrush rendering all the time. Like Raf Grassetti is one of them, and his artwork is fantastic. So yeah, I would love to see if you guys end up getting this tutorial. I'd love to see what you guys do. Just like send me a message and share me the result that you ended up getting. All right, cool. See you guys later.